Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about the Miami Heat defeating Milwaukee and closing the series out, which is, a shocker to a lot of people. It may not be a shocker to Miami. Miami strikes me as a team that obviously very motivated. They're a team that's not daunted by anything really. They have a never say die attitude as far as the how they play the game. If they're facing, even if they're down by double digit numbers, there is just no quit in this team. This team is simply relentless. And I don't remember who stated this. It may have been Jimmy Butler, and I don't remember the exact words, but it was something to the effect that it didn't really matter what the cynics or skeptics thought, or people making predictions that they couldn't win the series, that they didn't have a chance, or what have you. It was just about what they believed in themselves, meaning the Miami Heat. And what it is you see this happen on occasion in sports, where you see a team that's facing nearly insurmountable odds against them win a series or a game or whatever it might be, and defeat the odds. And this time was no exception. You're talking about a Miami Heat team that just plays. They played the series with great continuity. I understand that the Greek Freak was not 100% the whole time during the series. I know in Game 4 he left early after really playing, having an inspiring effort and putting up a number of points. And I think he had to leave in the second quarter, and he had around 20 points of it before he had to go. He was just on a rampage in that particular game. And of course, they did win. I believe the name was Middleton, with the guy that made the game-winning shot at the end of that game in Game 4, and had like 36 points in that game. But again, this was not going to be. It wasn't going to be about what the cynics and skeptics thought. Even I would not have given Miami much of a chance in this series against the Milwaukee Bucks. But it's always imperative the players don't listen to the people, the analysts, the people, the prognosticators, or whatever you want to call them. It's about their belief in themselves that's going to supersede and override those of others. And some people have talked about. I've seen some comments. I know it was like on YouTube or whatever, that there's a guy named Goran Dragic for the plays for the Miami Heat. He's and he's a player that does not. They stated that he wasn't getting. People wouldn't talk about him enough. Well, I'm gonna talk about him. He scored, at least going into the Game 5. He averaged like 20. He was averaging, I think, like 20 points a game, 6 assists, somewhere around there. He averaged like 16 points a game during the regular season. His name might not be as big as Jimmy Butler's, but he still has made a very good, solid contribution. His role has been prodigious and he's played an integral role, I should say, in helping the Heat go on to the final round as far as the Eastern Conference goes, advancing them to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this is a Heat team that has just been playing with reckless abandonment. They are playing with no fear. They don't. To me, they have a good shot at this point to defeat whoever they're going to be playing in that final round in the Eastern Conference Finals, whether it be Boston or Toronto. They will have. I do think they have an even shot to win that series. The Heat strike me as a team. It's not even just the fact they're fearless. They are just very hungry now. They want this title very badly. And you look at a team like like the Heat. Jimmy Butler just arriving this season, I believe, and this is like but where the league has changed. It seems like it's more about trying to win right away. It's not about any reclamation project. And you look at and also on the Heat, I wanted to talk about Crowder as well, that he has hit some big shots in the series. He doesn't need to go unnoticed or under the radar by any means. His contributions have been immense to to this team. I remember in I believe it was in game 3, he hit a big shot um, in the fourth quarter, and he did, and it basically sealed the game for the Miami Heat. And looking at this, and Jimmy Butler is somebody right now. I think we're really seeing something special evolve with Jimmy Butler, and it's not even just the numbers; it's the fact that there's something with him. I think he brings a lot of energy and inspiration, and hope to this team. He's like he seems to give him. He's like that spark plug for the team. There's things that as far as intangibles, as far as being a leader and doing the things to get others more motivated. He gets his he gets his team involved, whether it's being a facilitator, whether it's being a shooter. He just has the uncanny ability to do what it takes for the team to win. And the thing about him is, there's a lot of good players in the NBA, and I'm sure we can name, as far as on an individual talent level, there's at least 5 players that are better than Jimmy Butler from a statistical standpoint, from individual talent. But the thing about it is, Jimmy Butler has obviously been one of the more valuable players to his team this season, as far as what he's been able to do and to elevate their play in the postseason. Now, this is and when Jimmy Butler retires, he could very well be, at least at the time when he retires. I don't mean a top 5 player all time per se, but top 5 player in the league, where as far as the players in the league when he retires, as far as all the active players that in his final season, I do believe he will be perceived as a top 5 player. And right now we could see him as far as he's in the top 10, I would say, in the NBA right now, but he could very well be in that top 5 discussion. And I'm again, not to don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not talking about as far as a top 5 player in NBA history. I'm talking about people that were active in the NBA at the time he retires. I do feel very strongly, adamantly, that he's going to be in that top 5 tier. He just has a lot of heart, and a lot of, obviously, talent comes with it, but he does have a lot of passion and heart and drive, and those are some things you may not be able to really teach somebody. It's just about your will. A lot of times, I believe, has to be developed, derived from within, and he obviously shows that. And I think a lot of this was just mind over matter. Milwaukee went into the series looking much better from a statistical standpoint, but Miami showed I think what it was is there's just something you could see in these games where one team just plays with an abundance of intensity, and the other team just didn't quite match the intensity level, and I think that definitely paid huge dividends for Miami in this series. So anyway, I give my kudos, congrats to the Miami Heat in this series, and they may very well win the Eastern Conference Finals. It would not shock me if they actually did that. Well, anyway, people, this is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, people, stay well.